up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Matsu here, bringing you another MHA deck profile. Today, I'm going to be talking about my Momo deck. I have a very interesting take on Momo. I'm of the opinion that you don't actually need Staff Strike in order for her to be a good character, just because of how her first enhance works and how her second enhance works. But without further ado, let's get into the deck, and I will talk about my decisions along the way. So obviously, Momo is the 626. This says E, destroy a foundation, build an asset or weapon foundation from your card pool face up. This attack gets +2 or -2 speed. And then enhance, once per turn, remove one foundation, add one weapon card from your discard pile to your hand. So we only actually play one weapon attack in this deck, and the one weapon attack is Unwavering Slash, and the reason for that is we don't actually need more weapons than that. So we actually have a weapon for each block zone. So we have a low block, we have a mid block in Quick Creation, we have a high block in Earphone Jack, and in Rising Starlet. Meaning that at any point we can just remove a foundation, pick up whatever block we need to block with, or we can pick up Unwavering Slash, and Unwavering Slash says we get to ready passing the torch. And so when we play Unwavering Slash, we first enhance passing the torch, commit it to draw a card, and then win Wavering Slash to draw a card and ready a foundation since we have an asset. So we just went +2 basically for free. And then if we play another attack, we can commit it to draw a card, or we can just keep it up to build. We play 4, it can be fixed. It's just good stun hate. It's got a really good block. It's good spam. This deck really likes face down foundations due to Harden Jab and Harden Jab. We play 3, You're So Obvious. This is kind of bread and butter stuff. It's a speed and damage reset if we need it. It also randomly gives speed or damage to punches and returns them to printed. So like if our opponent were to reduce like Hardened Pummel, which is our like main kill card, to below printed speed, we can be like, I'll return to printed speed, give it damage. 2, Coordinated Effort. Honestly, best card in the format. This card is actually broken. If anything, I hope this card gets an errata sometime soon, because it's honestly really oppressive to play against. And Coordinated Effort plus Unwavering Slash is probably some of the dumbest things I've ever seen in this game. They block your 6 mid, you respond with Coordinated Effort to build it down, and then you just play another Unwavering Slash. And you're like, okay, I'll ready my Coordinated Effort. Do you still want to block this one? Also, Harden Jab can just pick up the Unwavering Slash that you drop down, which is sick. We play 4, Manly Passionate Guy. This is just a really good spam. It lets us build in our Starlets without having to pop a foundation on our opponent's turn. It also just lets us build in like any of our pretty decent foundations that we use defensively. For passing the torch, this is a bread and butter card on almost all of its symbols. It's just commit to draw a card. And then if I ever randomly have 0 cards in my hand, I draw 2 cards instead, which is pretty cool. Recovery Girl's Kiss. This is just a decent spam with a good mid block. It says enhance, flip, gain health. So to put it into perspective, I played this deck on Tuesday at time of recording at locals, and I actually got second. I was playing. I think my first round was Kirishima under Void. I ended up going to time against that deck. Just because of how Kirishima works, especially under Void. I killed him in game 1. I played like 5 attacks while only tapping 2 foundations in total, because of how much I was readying stuff and how many foundations I was building in with like Harden Chop and Harden Jab and all that stuff. And then he barely squeaked it out in game 2. He had exact lethal on me, so that's unfortunate. Round 2, I played against Bakugo. It was fine. It was a decent match. Nothing really eventful happened. Game 3, I just kind of stalled out and then won because this character scales really hard. And then round 3... What was I against round 3? Sorry, bear with me for a second. Oh, man. Oh, it was against Kirishima again. Under Void, yet again. This time I actually won this match. Shoutouts to Tyler from TCGU, one of my teammates, and he was the guy I was playing against. It was a pretty close match. I killed him by exactly 1 damage, so that was pretty neat. And I ended up getting second, which I'm happy with, considering the amount of people that were at our locals. We had like 12, I think, yesterday, or Tuesday, I should say. We also had the great Jacob Johnson at our locals, so shoutouts to him. Really glad he showed up, which, if you guys don't know, he is the current UK national champion for standard UFS, so that was pretty neat. I would have liked to have actually played against him, obviously, but I didn't, unfortunately. Probably because I drew round 1. Anyways, back to the deck profile. We play 4 Destin for mainstream success. So 1/5, 2 mid block. Flip, name a card, or name a card type, then reveal the top card. If it matches the name type, add it to your hand. It just flips to maybe draw us an attack or confirm our check, which are both things that this deck really likes doing. So, honestly, they're both things that any deck likes doing. So, if you're playing any of these symbols, you're probably playing this card at a 4 of. For Specialist of Sound, this just lets us confirm our checks randomly sometimes. Like, it actually comes up quite a bit. It's also really good speed hate, and that's the main function of the card. For Precious Lesson, this is just a good spam that nets us a free foundation when we blow a committed foundation up. So, for Rising Starlet, this is part of our loop, so to speak, on how we gain a bunch of health back during our turn. So, for every quick creation, if we have 2 Rising Starlets, we just get to, every time we play an attack, blow up 1 Rising Starlet, probably the one that's flipped, effect of quick creation, add it back into our card pool since it's the top card of our discard pile, and then flip Rising Starlet again to bring it down, and then respond, gain health. And it basically just says that we always have +1 foundation to commit, which is also really sick, and as long as we have these, our attacks are getting 2/2 from Momo and 2 from quick creation. We play 2 Harden. Honestly, this card was kind of whatever, but like it's +3 damage on any of our fast, or +2 damage on any of our fast attacks, +3 on our kill condition and on our 2 Kirishima attacks. For Bonds of Friendship, this card is just like stats the card. Even if this card had no enhance on it, it would still be fine for just the stats that it has. It's a 1/6 with a 1 high block. Like, that's just insane. And then, obviously, enhance, flip, this Fury attack gets -3 damage. There are decks that play Furies, like Shigaraki, Nomu, I know, plays Fury attacks. Bakugo obviously plays Fury attacks. All Might has some Fury attacks. I think his Ultra Rare is a Fury, which does come up. Onto the attacks. We play 4 Harden Chop. Harden Chop is basically a 4-diff, because we just get to pop whatever committed face down that we use to pass it if we like play it on a 6 or something. And then that just gives us a ready foundation. And then if they block it, they discard a card. So this is like one of the best pokes because it's a 6 low for 5 with Momo. And if they like block it on an 8 or whatever, they have to commit usually 3 foundations. And then they have to discard a card from their hand, which just opens them up to being just massacred by the rest of our attacks. We play 4 Hardened Jab. Hardened Jab is like the ultimate versatility plussing poke. Like, this deck just has a lot of plussing pokes, or cards that go plus super hard if our opponent blocks them. This is definitely one of those, just because we get to pick up any face down foundation that we've already used, or like if our opponent flips something, we can pick that up too. Or little known interaction that a lot of people probably don't think about when it comes to this card. Um, if you actually don't have any face down foundations because of the way the card is worded and where the period is on the first line of text, you just get a build one for free. So on turn 2, going second, you just slam it. You have 4 foundations, none of them are face down. Sick, I'll just build another foundation face down for free. Which is really good because it fuels our ability to Momo to pop for speed or to remove a foundation to pick up a weapon. Which, picking up Unwavering Slash is something you always want to do. This card is actually nuts. It builds in either Quick Creation or Earphone Jack, which helps us set up our Rising Starlight combos with Quick Creation. It also readies Passing the Torch. Passing the Torch, just literal bread and butter with this card. It's so good. You just get to draw 2 cards, like, for basically free. One for all, full cowling, 5% strike. I thought about moving this card to the sideboard, honestly, and just, like, replacing the resistances. Because the only time this actually comes in is, like, Kirishima. So, like, it's fine if you're expecting to see a lot of Kirishima in the main board, but if you want to hedge your matchups against other characters, you probably want to play the All Might 4-diff, I think it's Missouri Smash, over this card, and then just move this card to sideboard. Because the discard your hand, draw 3 cards rarely ever actually came up, but it is really cool in this character because you always get to pick up an attack guaranteed. So, like, if you just draw this and a hand of all gray, you can be like, okay, I'll discard my entire hand, draw 3, Momo effect, remove a foundation, pick up this Unwavering Slash, and then you just go off from there. Hardened Pummel, this card is our kill card. I play it at 2. I actually had 0 problems seeing this card ever. Like, it was never an issue. I always saw it when I needed it at 2, so I'm okay with just keeping this card at 2. It's just a 7 mid for 10, usually, that can't be plus ultra. Which, if you guys don't know what plus ultra is, it just reduces the speed of a blocked attack to 0 when you block with it, but it's got a 5 mid block. So, like, it's kind of awkward if your kill con is just like a mid that gets really fast, and they're just like, okay, sure, I'll just block it for free. It also randomly lets us double our attack speed or damage, which is actually how I killed Tyler in round 3, because I set up Strike to give it my next attack plus 3 speed, and then I played this. So it came in with plus 3 speed initially, and then I was able to plus ultra it to 16 speed because of how plus ultra works. It doubles the total speed, not the printed speed. So if your attack is at 8 speed when it comes in and you play this as your first enhance, it doubles to 16. And then I just gave it a bunch of damage, and I was able to kill him that way with it. And then last card in the deck, Setup Strike. This card's really good in our character. It says our next attack gets 5 speed, basically. 3 from Setup Strike, 2 from Momo. So it just comes out really fast, and our opponent has to deal with it. So, like, this is really good in Hardened Pummel. This is really good if we're trying to jam a full cowling. Like, if they have a character we actually care about, we're just like, okay, I'll give it 5 speed. It's a 9 high for 6 catch. If you don't block, your character's going to get committed. Which, that's pretty backbreaking against some characters. So. Quick Creation we already kind of talked about, but this just adds the top card of our discard pile to our card pool, and then this attack gets +2 or -2 damage. So this is damage pump, this is damage reduction when we need it. Lets us do cool loopy things with Rising Starlet to gain a bunch of health back after we've already started, like, the grind fest, I guess you could say. 1 Earphone Jack. This just gives speed to a charge after we play it, and then it makes our opponent mill a card, regardless of whether the attack is a charge. So don't forget to respond with this card, even if your attack is not a charge, because it does just mill your opponent, and hitting random attacks off the top of your opponent's deck can be good if you don't plan on killing them that turn, because obviously those are attacks that they aren't drawing. Also, later on, milling foundations off the top of their deck when they're trying to block, and then they hit attacks, and that's pretty alright. And then it's response commit after your attack deals damage, ready one foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So this just lets us ready additional copies of Passing the Torch that we haven't readied with Unwavering. This lets us ready Coordinated Effort if our attack touches them, which is sick. We already talked about Plus Ultra and what it does for the deck. Onto the sideboard, we play one copy of Kirishima. So this is like for the slower matchups. Honestly, I thought about bringing it in against the Void Kirishima decks, but the thing about Kirishima on the sideboard is he doesn't loop Rising Starlit as well as Momo does, so you can kind of lose to Void anyway, since Void is, like, the Void list is literally made to be good in the Kirishima mirror match, because they just play a bunch of throws, and they just kind of chip you down regardless of, like, what you actually do to their attacks. 1 year so obvious. I didn't want to play 4 on the main board. This is just like a personal preference thing. If you wanted to find space in the main board, you could definitely like trim something and play a 4th copy of this. But it is a 4-check, and I'm already playing 4 copies of Precious Lessons, so I didn't want to play like more 4-checks, if that makes sense. 4th Plus Ultra. You don't really need 4 in my personal opinion. You see it enough at 3, and this card can brick super hard if your opponent just, like, doesn't attack you. And, like, they just sit there blocking, which Kirishima does that a lot. Like, he can just sit there and not attack you and just block all your moves and just kind of stare at you. And so, like, the enhance on this is not very good if you can't get momentum, obviously. 4 Texas Smash. This is just to bring in for if we side into Kirishima. We just, like, take out Hardened Pummels and, like, some Bulk Owlings. Because this card just makes stuff really big. Like, Setup Strike into this, it's a 7 high for 11? No, 7 high for 9. It's a 7 high for 9 with the Setup Strike, which is pretty sick. It hits really hard, obviously. And then we play 3 copies of Resistance. This is for, like, Recipro Burst decks, Shigaraki, stuff like that. The decks that are playing, like, Return to Dust and all the stun abilities. You can bring this in against Denki as well. Yeah. Pretty cool card. It also is a spam with Breaker 1 and random damage reduction, so I guess that's cool as well. But anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I will be doing more in the near future. Make sure you go like, comment, subscribe, check out all my socials, all that stuff. Links in the description. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and sayonara. Matsu signing out. What is up, Matsu Nation? Thank you for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And check out all my socials and my Patreon. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and sayonara.